Welcome to our meeting. We will discuss ConfigManager for Polarion ALM. Some words about our company. Guarantees IT Solutions is a reliable partner for Polarion ALM support. We are technical solutions partner for Siemens, and we are official distributor of Polarion. We can sell licenses. We provide trainings, hosting of servers, customizations, installations, maintenance, and many other services related to Polarion. And as you can see in the list below, we have developed multiple products for Polarion, including some templates. And when we develop templates for automotive, aerospace, and other industries, we met the problem that we need to update multiple projects on the customer side, and we need to update it from single template or from single project. This is where the idea came for ConfigManager. We also worked in different industries, and in these industries, we also can see that the same problem happens in medical, aerospace, oil and gas. Everywhere where you use Polarion, you want to update sometimes configurations of multiple projects. So the agenda for today's meeting will be first, problem definition, how to manage and update configurations. Then we will discuss multiple solutions, and we will focus on plugin configuration manager. There will be additional information about methodology, how to update configurations in the best way, kind of best practices. And then you can ask questions, and I will give you answers. So the basic idea of ConfigManager is to take a reference project and to update multiple projects which are located on the same server, or they can be located on a different server. Also, instead of a project, you can take template, project template. So it can be project template to the projects, project template to the project template, or project to the project template. So you can mix and match different update scenarios. In reference project, we want to identify some files. We want to know that these files are different to our project files. Then we can select the files and perform the update. So this is the basic principle. To solve this problem, we provide plugin which is called ConfigManager. You can see the user interface on the picture. At the top, there are 5 steps. It works like a wizard. You go through each step and you select projects, source project, target project. You select a server, then you can select what you want to compare. Is it only about work items, configurations, or is it about live documents and test runs? Then we will show you the differences and you can analyze the differences. And then you perform commit. It is automatically documented and you get a summary report. So as you can see, this user interface has different functionalities. You can see the tree of the files. There will be tables to compare information side by side, and there are also setting pages to control your preferences. We will look at the live demonstration in a moment. So the concept is, if you have project 1 as a source, you see below we have work items, event, and hazard. We want to analyze workflows, work item types, forms, reports, maybe even permissions. We want to see the difference, select or deselect files, and then we want to update project 2, and we want to get event and hazard work items in project 2. The summary of actions, which we will see in the demo in a moment. We will analyze the projects, copy configurations, and we will document the changes. So now we will switch to the demonstration. So now I'm in project which is called ConfigManager. If I go to the home page, you can see some work items below. We will discuss them in a moment. And in the project, I can click on the shortcut ConfigManager, and we will see our plugin. So this is the wizard, and now we will start to use it. I have some source project which is called safety. We will take demo 1 safety, and you can see that we automatically can select projects which are marked as a safety project. So we introduced something called custom fields for the projects. So I will unselect my filter, and I will find another project which I prepared. It's called B4. And now the projects are selected. We can see the source project, demo 1 safety, the target project, KK demo B4, and we click on the button next to see the comparison of the files. So this is logical structure of Polarion configuration. We can see work items configurations, and below there are workflows, fields, custom field layout, tables, planning, and the same we can see for documents and for test runs. So I will compare everything. We click on the button next. Here is a full list of files which will be compared, 267. Compare 1 to 1. And now we can see that if we take the changes from demo 1 safety, then there will be 0 files deleted, 11 files inserted, and 3 files will be changed. And there are equal files, 253. So this statistic helps to understand how many changes will happen. Now below we can see the table which explains the changes. So let's start with work item types. If I click on show diff, then we can clearly see that new work items are added. One work item is called event, another work item is called hazard. Now let's analyze other files. This work item event workflow represents workflow for the work item event. If I look at the difference, the green color means it will be inserted, completely inserted into the target project. If I take the next file, event custom fields, this represents custom fields for the work item event. And if I click on the difference, then we can see that there will be 4 new custom fields: start date, location country, location city, location address. And in the similar way, we also add some fields for the work item hazard. And we also change something for the test case. For the test case, we will introduce new field which is called test group, and it's of type enumeration. And this enumeration will be added as well. There is somewhere there. This is enumeration values for the new enumeration. So once we analyze the files, we can click on proceed to commit, and then we will say overwrite our project. This is the last warning. It asks, are you sure to proceed with the update? Here is the list of files which will be updated, 14 files, and I say commit the changes. So now commit happens. We don't do any checkout. We execute everything using API functions of Polarion and SVN. So now the update is finished, and I can open the project B4. So this is our target project, and we will find there the work items event and hazard. So these are new work items. And if I create a new work item event, then we will see that the fields are available. So these are the new fields: country, city, address. This is what we expect. Now the summary page, if we go if we look at these links, it provides some useful information. So first of all, we can look at a detailed report. It takes a revision number. When we update the project, there is only one revision created. it's also optional. We can also create multiple revisions. So for each project, target project can be separate revision. So we can see that there were 17 updates for the files and folders. Well, previously it was 14, but we also created 3 new folders. And we can see in details that this file was created, this was modified, and I can also click on the diff and jump into repository browser, which is a standard functionality of Polarion. And I can see that we added new field grouping requirement. So now we go back to the ConfigManager and we analyze further the summary. This is the revision which was created, and this is linked to the repository browser. So if I click here, we will see all the files, and this is the ultimate source of truth. So these are all the files which were changed during this update in this revision. Now below we have also a summary of commit, and if you perform commit for multiple projects, then you will have multiple tables. So this is the main functionality. You can see how quick you can update the files and how quick you can analyze the changes. So it's a big change comparing to manual SVN checkout and comparing files using some tools. So now let's understand how we can document the changes. You can see that in the corner we have a reference to the work item called config 240. So this work item is our documentation. It is created automatically. It tells us that we started update from the project demo 1 safety, and this is the timestamp when update happened. And below we can see a lot of different functionality information. We store the source project, the target project, which files were analyzed, and also which files were updated. And as you can see, we also see the summary table, same what we had before. So even 2 weeks later, you can click on this link and you can jump to the report and understand what was done exactly in this revision for this update. So now, if you look at work items, we performed recently multiple updates, and we used different source projects, and we updated different target projects. So for example, here it was multiple projects updated. So now I will go back to the ConfigManager and I will try to update multiple projects. So for this, we will select again our safety project. I will use safety 1 again, and now I will try to compare multiple projects. There is B1, B2, B3, and B4. So you can see at the top that multiple projects, target projects are selected. So we click next. Some of these projects already have the changes from the safety 1 template, so we will not see any differences. So all these projects are analyzed now. We tried to work with 30 projects and also with 50 projects. So now what these tables tells us, we can see that the project before the last one, it's completely equal to our source project. So there will be no update. The other projects, they are different. So here, for example, for the hazard, there will be some change in the enumeration. And just a moment, I lost my, and here the enumeration will be added completely because it was not there before. So I need to switch to the right page. Yeah, and if we look before, also there will be some files deleted, like risk matrix. It was not in the demo one safety. So let's perform the update. The statistic shows the differences at the top. We will perform proceed to commit and then overwrite the files. So now it is calculating the files again to produce the final report, what will be changed. Here is a summary, and we will overwrite all projects. In the future, you can schedule this update. So you can prepare the files and the projects. You can save it in our session work item, and then you can automatically perform update, for example, at the weekend, like Sunday night. So now you can see that multiple projects were updated. So these are the summaries. And if I look at our report, then this is project B1, then project B2, and then we also see project B3. So now these projects are absolutely the same, equal. And as expected, we also received automatic documentation work item. So let me open work items. So this update was done right now, and this is the revision number. And if we look at our JSON files, then we can see that there are multiple projects, B1, B2, and so on, which were updated. So now we will switch back to the presentation and we will discuss other features. So what you see below in the yellow frame, this is the functionality which we discussed, from reference project to identify the changes and to update multiple projects. Now what you see at the top in the red frame, this is the project management functionality. So it is optional. You can use ConfigManager project to manage your change requests and also to manage your update sessions. And these work items, they have workflow, they have approval process, review and approval. They will have history and they will stay forever in Polarion for historical documentation. And you will get list of files and also list of differences. So it's a nice way to automatically document everything what happens when you update your projects. We support multiple server infrastructures, so you can work on one Polarion, then you update from one project to another project, so to multiple projects. We can work with one server connected to another server, then you need to install the plugin on both servers. We will authenticate and then we will connect automatically in the future to another server. Then we can have more complex configurations where you have a production, test, and integration server. And we also support cluster environment when you have multiple servers working with the same SVN. This is a classical example where you have multi-server cluster setup. And then on the right side, you can see we have a development Polarion server where we perform our development of project templates. We update workflows, permissions, and so on. Then we want to copy. So number one, it's a copy to the testing process where we have staging Polarion server. After testing is successful, we want to perform operation number 2 to copy to production server. And then effectively we will update project A and project B. So the complete solution, it's not only the plugin, it consists of multiple elements. So number one, is the plugin ConfigManager. We looked at it. It allows you to compare projects, analyze the differences, copy configurations. You can perform these operations for multiple projects and multiple servers. Solution number 2, it's the project config manager. We looked at it a little bit. So it helps you to manage the process, or actually to establish a process for updates. It keeps the history. It documents the changes, so you have evidence of changes, and it provides multiple reports to find updates, to plan updates, and to see the statistic. Then we also provide a template creator. It's another plugin which is integrated into ConfigManager project template. It allows you to take existing project and to create a project template. And you can control different options and parameters for the template. And number 4 is a plugin manager. It has access to the file system, and it can read scripts, Java plugins, it can read config files, and technically in the future we can even compare and transfer those elements from one file system to another file system. So here's example of this additional plugin template creator. So you can select existing project, you can see the files, you can unselect some files, give the parameters, and then there will be a job running, and as a result you will get a zip file with a project template. And this is plugin manager. It allows to see the technical information about the server. We can see CPU usage, memory usage, system load, how much memory is used by Java, and below we can see the Polarion properties and also the list of plugins installed on the system, Java plugins, and also script files. And this is a new functionality which we introduced together with our config manager. You can define custom fields for the project, and you can have multiple custom fields. In this example, you can see that we marked projects, they are belonging to A space. So there are also multiple reports. This is just some examples of reports where you can see the differences, but also we have reports to manage config change sets. And our roadmap is to implement new functionalities, for example, permissions, who can update what kind of files. We will also introduce better way to manage custom fields for the projects. So you will have dynamic tables where you can edit the fields and the values. We will also improve scalability. So we have some customers who have the need to update 100 projects in one go, or even 500 projects. So we already have a scheduled job which can perform this activity in the background. And there are many other changes, so we are looking for ideas from customers. You can try our plugin for free. We can give it for evaluation, for 1 month evaluation. And if you have some ideas, we will be happy to know about them. So thank you for considering us as your business partner. You can reach me using LinkedIn, email, or our website, and we will be happy to answer your questions.